Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. Amy, glad that you could join us.
Hello.
Hey there, Casca. How are you?
I am doing well.
Good, good, good.
Hopefully we get to kill a dragon or a slime this week.
Yeah.
With this
All right, you guys, I'll roll your characters up. You're
there
done.
you go. you lead the charge there.
There's no need to kill a dragon. They're all nice and sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure those think the same thing about you as they're picking you out of their teeth.
Yeah.
And the slime is very nice. Have you seen the slime? It's adorable.
You won't hug it.
I leveled up. I don't remember when, but it's there.
I'm like 300 and what was it? Yep, it's like 301 points away.
301 points away.
Yeah.
Well, you just got
From level
300
3.
points.
No.
You just got
This
300.
is after adding my 300 points from last week.
I have to find a level up my.
Yeah, when people get to a point of leveling up again, let me know, because we have a few newer players. And
Well, I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jason. How are you doing?
Yay. Hello, Jason.
Morning or night,
How's everybody?
whatever time it is.
Oh, okay. Freezing my tits off in Nebraska.
Hey, Skylin. Thanks for joining us on the stream.
Sorry. I just knew that was going to get somebody's reaction. It
Scared
is
somebody off.
damn cold here. It never got above -4 today. And that's before wind chill factor.
Yeah, we have a player in the Sunday game
Wow.
that is based in Oklahoma and decided to go to Texas because they were predicting 8 below temperatures for the next few days. Yeah, with well, you know, it's, you get a
They
chance.
had an ice storm in Oklahoma that went across like southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, into Tennessee and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things he was worried about is where he lives. Every time it ices up, the power goes out. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, right now here it looks like somebody made Elsa real mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we're having summer conditions.
I've talked to people in Kazakhstan. They said it was -30. So
is that Celsius?
And that was Celsius.
Isn't it?
Yeah, which is like -24 Fahrenheit.
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm like, how do people live
Now,
there?
is that like way up in the
It's
middle
probably
of
in the
nowhere?
mountains. It's probably
Yeah.
in the mountains.
Kazakhstan is
Near Turkey?
It's north of like Iran, and it is south of Russia, and it borders. It's on the western border of China.
Well, if they're getting -24 in Kazakhstan, can you imagine what it is in Russia?
I don't want to know. I'm like, why do people live there? That's nuts.
Okay.
They don't have any choice.
Skylin on the chat is saying it's 13 below Celsius wherever he or she is. Is that somewhere in Canada or is that in the U.S. or is it in Europe? I would presume it's either Canada or Europe with Celsius.
The U.S. is dumb with Fahrenheit.
No, we're not.
I'm American. I can say that.
No, you're wrong, because here's why. When it is 32 here, which is 0 Celsius, 32 makes you feel better.
Exactly.
It's all a perception thing.
So would you rather have negative 30 Celsius or negative whatever, you know?
Oh, like, right.
Where I'm at, it would have been like negative 14 Celsius all week long, and it was only like 5 Fahrenheit.
5 degrees Fahrenheit, yeah.
Yeah, it felt warmer.
Everyone I know is getting snow but me, and I live up north.
All right, everybody. The sign says... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Conrad leveled up to level 2, and I didn't know how you wanted to handle that.
Well, that's a good way for us to start our session tonight. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Lost Mine of Old D&D, where we are going through the Lost Mine of Phandelver, playing it with the rule set that Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax created back in the 1970s, and seeing how differently this plays out. We are joined by a full cast tonight. We have Amira as Amy, we have Travis as Theolis, we have Gooney as Zhire, we have Casca as Sermos, and we have Jason as Conrad. And as you just heard, at least one of our characters has leveled up, and you say at least one. Yes, because in this edition of the game, every class levels at a different rate. So everyone gets the same amount of experience each session, but that means some people gain levels faster than others, which is an interesting thing for this particular edition of the game. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. And so what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and move us over to our map. But before we actually start playing, we'll go ahead and we will walk through with the players that are in the middle of leveling up. So Conrad, you are a cleric, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, the nice thing is, at level 2, clerics finally get all of their spellcasting abilities. So, they also get a couple of different abilities that... All right, so introduction, character creation, the character classes. All right, so the cleric, you will get, as far as hit points, you will get 4 hit points plus whatever your constitution bonus is at this level. You will gain 1 first level spell. And your saving throws will remain the same, so there's no difference on that. But your turn undead feature will change a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So you now have a possibility to turn a new type of undead, and you automatically will turn a type of undead. So if you go to that class feature tab on your character sheet,
all right.
Right now on the skeleton line, I think there should be like a little drop down arrow. Change that from a 7 to a T. Okay. Because you will automatically turn 2d6 hit dice of skeletons. Your zombie chance goes to a 7. Your ghoul chance goes to a 9. Okay. And you now get an 11 to turn whites.
Oh, all right.
But everything else is still just you're not powerful enough yet to try to turn those. Now, once you get a little bit higher level, you will be able to start automatically destroying certain types of undead instead of just turning them. And then as you get to higher and higher levels, you can destroy a greater number of hit dice of those creatures. So the cleric gets more and more powerful in that respect as you go along.
All right.
So then the only other thing probably is on your on the main tab of your character sheet, where it shows you the hit or the experience points for next level. Change that to a 3,000.
Okay.
And then we have the spells, and I'm gonna look in the Discord here, and I'm gonna see if I put the list of the cleric spells in there somewhere.
I thought I saw it at one point, but I looked again and I couldn't find it.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to this. Core rules. Aha. Okay, it's under core rules, first edition. No, I'm sorry. That's skill list, not spell list. Yeah. All right. So let me go to the general, and I'm spell.
Most likely it'll be a healing spell, but I'd like to look at them anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Then the easiest thing to do, since I don't see it right away, is to go to the spells and spell casting, go to the clerical spell list, and copy that list, and then paste it in for you. So some of the spells are ones that you'll be familiar with from later editions of the game, and some of them are completely have not been brought forward. So
okay.
So we'll do that first level cleric spells. All right, so your options are Cure Light Wounds, Detect Evil, Detect Magic, Light, Protection from Evil, Purify Food and Water, Remove Fear, and Resist Cold. And the ones that have the asterisk are reversible spells.
Okay.
So that means that you can, and clerics and magic users have a different aspect on reversible spells in this game. It's a very strange thing, and I don't know why they made the rules this way. Amy, since you are our only magic user, at the time of day when you go to memorize your spells, you have to choose which version of the spell you're going to memorize. Are you going to memorize the normal version of the spell, or are you going to memorize the reversed version of the spell? If you memorize the normal version of the spell, you cannot cast the reversed version that day. If you memorize the reversed version of the spell, you cannot cast the normal version unless you use a separate spell slot for each one.
I was about to ask, wouldn't it be like you just memorize both with like later levels?
You could. Now, Clerics, on the other hand, for Conrad can memorize Cure Light Wounds as his spell, or he can pray for Cure Light Wounds, as clerics are supposed to do. And then when he gets to a point during the day, if all of his friends are healthy and he really needs to deal damage to an enemy, he can choose at the moment he's going to cast the spell whether he is going to cast it as Cure Light Wounds or as Cause Light Wounds. So that's a thing for clerics. Same goes with light, because you can choose to cast light or you can choose to cast darkness, and you can choose to cast remove fear or you can choose to cast cause fear. But just like with magic users, you have to decide, since you only have one spell slot, which of those spells you're going to pray for that day, and then that's the spell you have. As a cleric, you don't need a spell book to put these in your spells. Your deity grants you access to these, so these are basically always on or are always available at the beginning of a day for the first level cleric, but you have to choose one of them each adventuring day that you're going to memorize.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Cure Light Wounds. Just
okay.
Going for us.
And the Cure Light Wounds in this edition is, I believe it's the same as a Potion of Healing, which is 1d6 plus 1. Let me just make sure that I'm not remembering this correctly. Yes, 1d6 plus 1 points of damage that it will heal.
Okay.
And then if you choose to cast it as Cause-like Wounds, it will deal 1d6 plus 1 damage. Now, in 3rd edition, they introduced the concept in the game that undead are powered by negative energy. And this wasn't something that they had specified at all in any edition up until 3rd, but I think it's kind of a neat rule that we can use if everybody is agreeable with it, that since undead are powered by negative energy, if you do a Cure Light Wounds on an undead, you actually deal damage to it. If you do a Cause Light Wounds on undead, you actually restore hit points to it. So it just remember that Cure Light Wounds and Cause Light Wounds will work backwards on undead.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So is anybody else leveling up and had any questions about what they needed to do to level up, or any of the features or numbers or anything on there at this level?
What was my hit die for getting a
okay.
word? I forgot.
Yeah, it's a D4, so you will get 3 hit points plus your Constitution bonus when you get to a new level as a magic user. So let's see. And then what level is Amy now? Is she 3rd or 4th?
4th.
4th. Okay.
So like 5.
Yeah, so if you have a +2 on your con bonus, then yes, it would be 5. So let's see, where's magic user? So at level 5, your next goal for, or at level 10, I should say, or golly, at level 4, you have 2 first level spells, 2 second level spells. To reach level 5, you'll need 20,000 experience points. And your saving throws are still the same. So I don't think any other things change. Did anybody else level or have questions about leveling?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, now, last time we were here, you guys were in Tresendar Manor, which is under reconstruction. You were talking to your contracting crew of hobgoblins and goblins. The hobgoblins were having a time trying to keep the goblins from, killing each other through sheer incompetence, dropping things on other people's feet and basically acting like the Three Stooges because they're so clumsy. And Clark is taking his duty to the Empress very seriously indeed, and making sure that things are being done. I believe over in the prison area, you guys had talked with the prisoners, the former Red Cloak, Red Brands, and you did you all decide you were going to give them an opportunity to work with you as okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and not feed them to the slime just yet.
Just yet.
Okay.
Ever.
One misstep. All I got.
And hey, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the slime, somebody is back in town, and that somebody is Mustard, who comes in, and I guess going by the way we had the map last week, finds Theolis in the entry hall, along with Alban and Sildar and several of the goblins, and says, "Oh, Master Theolis, I was able to get it." And he excitedly holds up a leather sack, and he shakes it, and you can hear something in there sloshing around. Like it sounds like there's a bottle with some liquid in it that's sloshing around. Where is Amy? Where's the Empress?
See the stairway next to the stairwell? Go through there, take it, and your first right.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Then, so they are with the prisoners. Tell me, do you know if they managed to deal with the undead guardians?
I believe those were taken care of. Lady Amira will explain.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so he goes running in here, coming through here, indeed finds that the undead are gone, and looks, and so here you see a person walk in who looks like looks similar to a red cloak, but is not wearing a red brand. I don't know why I'm gonna keep calling them red cloaks for some reason. But anyway, red brand, and is not wearing the red cloak of the red brands, and looks and says, hello, my name is Mustard. Where could I find Empress Amy? He's talking to Zhire.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like thinking he was speaking to someone else. Wake up, Heather. Wake up. She kind of looks and then looks him up and down and kind of leans in the door, goes, there's some creep out here asking for Empress Amy. She looks back at him and goes, what are you? Who are you?
Oh, the name is Mustard.
She leans back in and goes, there's someone out here with a name of a condiment as his name. Anybody know who he is? Mustard?
Amy's going to immediately run out.
Just knocked you out of the way.
Yep, pretty much bowled me over. Don't mind me.
Do you have it?
Empress, yes. And he holds out a leather sack. And it's clear that this sack has a bottle inside of it.
I'm going to take the sack, toss him a gold coin, and run towards the... Not a gold coin, a platinum coin.
Hey.
Okay, all right. So, now we're going to... Okay. Let's see. This potion, as you pull it out of the bottle out of the sack, you see that this potion looks like water from a bog that has like all kinds of green goop in it, and it looks rather disgusting. It looks kind of like it's all clouded with sort of green algae and everything, so this is apparently what was sold to him as a potion of plant control.
Let's just hope it works. So she watches Amy run off, and then she's kind of like leans back in the door and goes, so anybody know where the hell she just went with something sloshing in a container? She looked really freaking excited.
I don't know, but I've got a bad feeling about it.
All good things.
Clark sees Amy come in and says, "Oh, Empress Amy! Oh, be careful! Be careful! The slime is there. Don't get too close to it." And he kind of gives you a
question. Did I give a bottle or should I put a bottle?
Oh, so Mustard has returned. He was successful. Oh, well, shall I have the others come just in case it does not work as it's supposed to?
Yeah, they probably.
Oh, very well, very well. Hold on just half a minute. And he runs over here, and then he bellows, "Everyone, please come to the central chamber. The Empress is going to try to control the slime with her potion."
Who is this that's yelling?
It's Clark, the bugbear.
Ah, gotcha.
It's Amy's mate.
As far as Sermos
At some point, Amy's going to hear you say this and dabbed or something.
And about this point in time, because Zhire doesn't know really much any better, she kind of looks over at him and goes, "Seriously?"
I don't know. The way he fawns over her, I thought, maybe it was he's a king, she's an empress,
One of them is higher than the other.
Okay.
Okay. King is the consort to the Empress, so.
Gosh.
Yeah, all right then. We're just gonna. Yeah, okay. You guys
Is
are
Mustard
weird.
going?
Oh, yeah, Mustard will. Mustard will come.
I need to see if I need to recharm.
Mustard has returned, and Mustard seems to be very devoted to you. You, based on the time that he's been away about 5 or 6 days. You figure that you have about another day before the charm is going to break. So you can either preemptively do a charm again to keep him in check, or you can wait until the charm wears off and find out if his loyalty is secured.
We'll wait.
But that's up to you. Okay, all right. So wait until that happens. All right, now you see this potion in your hands, and everybody has arrived, and they are all waiting with varying degrees of either excitement or anticipation or dread, as the case may be, to see what's going to happen. And so what does Amy do?
I'm still debating whether I drink this potion or give it to.
Are there any instructions?
There were no directions.
As a wizard or as a witch, you would know that potions, in order to use their effects, the person who wants to use their effects has to drink them. So if you poured the potion on the slime, then the potion would try to give the slime the ability to control plants.
We don't need to give it sentient. No.
Yeah, so...
Oh, come on.
It'll be a Goosebumps book.
That would be fun.
Okay, so now, here's the other thing that you know about potions. You know that the potions, duration of the potions, unless stated otherwise, the effect of a potion lasts 7 to 12 turns, which is 70 to 120 minutes. So you roll 1d6 plus 6 to determine the potion's duration. And the let's see, where's the plant control? Plant control. Okay. Yep. User can control all plants and plant-like creatures, including monsters, in a 30 by 30 area up to 60 feet away. So that is the range that you have. You can be up to 60 feet away. It will last up to 2 hours. So the question is, there's no, as of yet, you haven't figured out how to make this kind of control permanent. So, so are you wanting to try it, see if it's possible, and then base your future plans on whether or not it's possible to actually control this monster?
We have to at least test it first.
Okay. All right. then you can get to wherever you want to get, and I need to figure out green slime. So, green slime, okay. It actually gets saving throws. And it gets saving throws in this area. So, to 8 combat. Okay. So, attack rolls. And then, where's saving throws? Oh, it's back here in classes. Do. All right. So it gets this. And it is basically a spell that it's trying to save against. All right. So when are you going to go ahead and drink the potion standing right there?
Do I have to do the entire?
Yeah, you have to drink the entire potion.
And I was hoping to save someone just down it.
Okay, you drink the entire potion.
Likes mud water that much. I'm sure I can find mud water somewhere else.
Yeah, this tastes absolutely awful. Amy, I'm gonna let you, or Amira, I'm gonna let you describe how this potion tastes, since you are the first one that has drunk one of these. The potion of plant control. What is the taste like? So we have the appearance.
Eating mud that someone tried to texture with perfume.
Well, isn't that special?
Okay. Ooh, yes. It goes down horribly, but as it does, no, it's a magical potion, and so and it's not a poison. So the way the magic works, it just sort of forces itself down your throat, and you feel like you're gonna gag, but you can't, basically. Oh, nice. Okay. As you drink this, you sense an awareness in your mind. And the awareness that you sense, comes from the slime hanging on the ceiling. And it is too unintelligent to have language, but it communicates in very basic thoughts, and it's very curious about you, and you can tell that it very much would like to do what you want it to do, because it wants to make you happy.
I think I just made a new best friend.
Well, at least for an hour and a half or so.
A best friend is a best friend.
Are you gonna make it do something?
It's very basic, so I gotta give it basic instructions, I guess. Drop.
You tell it drop, and it drops on the ground in front of you. And Clark goes, "Oh, Empress Amy, please step away. It's dangerous." He starts to move
That's a
forward.
really good idea, actually. Follow me.
And so it kind of does that thing where it sort of, just like a slime, it oozes. And it sort of slides along the contours of the thing. Now, are you telling... Clark seems to be under the impression that it is hostile. Are you going to do something to let him know that it's not, or?
Well, he knows I'm trying to control it, so
well,
I'm just
he
trying to
knows.
keep it away from him.
Okay. Yeah, he's standing on the bridge with his sword drawn, and he's like, "Empress Amy, please, get out of there! It's trying to attack you."
It's
Get in
fine. It's
between
working.
'em.
No, stop trying to kill my slime.
No. I was trying to kill Clark.
I wanted to kill Clark. I would have said kill Clark.
And so you tell him that you're giving it commands and it's obeying you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, please then make it go away, please.
Why would I do that?
It could kill all of us. It's a danger.
We'll do a group vote. Who wants the slime to go away?
About that time, there's a
Yeah, like
tentative
everybody's
hand from
raising
the
their
thing.
hand.
They're all like,
Yeah, get rid of it.
Okay,
Anyone who thinks the
so
slime's gonna kill you, put your hands.
okay.
What?
Anybody thinks what?
If you think the slime's gonna kill you, put your hands.
Your blast word is cutting off. So put your hands where?
Down.
Down. Oh, okay. Well, let me pull the PCs. So Zhire, is your hand up or down at this point?
my hand was up because she said, or she asked, and a number of people raised their hands. So did she.
Okay.
And then she said, if you think that the slime is going to eat you, put your hand down. And she's kind of like, she still keeps her. She's kind of like,
she still keeps her hand up. Okay. Theolis, is your hand up or down?
Trying to calm Ripper. Right now, his hackles are up because he thinks he's going to have to bite a slime.
So his hands down.
I'm just trying to calm Ripper.
Actually, Clark says something to Ripper, and Ripper sits down and lifts a paw.
So, good boy. Yes, good boy.
So Ripper has a paw up in the air.
Nobody's
So-
paying attention to her last thing.
So
Hands,
Theolis
not
are
So
Ripper's not trying to get away. So what?
Raising hand. All
Okay.
right, I'll put a hand up because Ripper's got a paw.
Okay. Then Sermos, hand up or down. Up means you want the slime to go away.
Oh, my hand's up.
Okay. Conrad, hand up or down.
Conrad has his hand up and he's muttering a prayer.
Okay.
Dear Lord, help me.
All right. So then, Amy, as you look around, you also see Sildar puts a hand up. Mustard puts a hand up. Clark puts a hand up. The goblins have hands up. It seems like everybody except for Amy believes that this slime is a threat and dangerous, and should, if it's not going to be destroyed, it should be sent away from here.
All of your opinions are invalid.
I knew she was going to say that. Well, then prove it's not dangerous and hug it.
That's like saying prove this knife isn't dangerous and shove it into your leg.
No, it's not. You say it's under your control. If it's under your control, then you can hug it and it won't do anything to you.
It's literally made of something acidic.
Yeah, it's it basically has no control over.
Well, so she's admitting it's dangerous.
Yeah. She's admitting she's dangerous.
Smoking's dangerous.
So now the next thing is, would there be a place that the slime could be sent where it could be fed and it won't be in anybody's way?
There's a village with a bunch of kobolds in it.
And he'd say,
and a dragon.
Oh,
and that's a dragon. There's all kinds of food for both of
them. Amy, give me an intelligence check. Just to kind of see, what sort of strategic thoughts would. Okay. Amy is very focused on feeling outnumbered at the moment.
I'm very sad. I don't want to get rid of my slime.
Rest of the PCs, go ahead and give me intelligence checks. Now, in this edition chat, for checks like this, lower is better because you have a target number and you want to hit the target number or lower. So
Sermos is pretty much
okay. Well, Sermos and Conrad both kind of have about the same idea, although Sermos comes to it more quickly, and it kind of makes sense because Sermos is a dwarf and he understands all of the things about tunneling and work underground. Sermos, you notice this feature here in the middle of the of this chamber, this 20-foot deep furrow that looks like it might have been caused by an earthquake or some sort of tremor, or maybe some kind of very, unfortunate magical experiment or something gone horribly awry. And you see up to the north, there's like a little alcove. There's like a place where that tunnel sort of goes down and narrows out, and you really can't tell how far it goes, but it probably doesn't lead anywhere. If Amy insisted on keeping the slime around, it could probably be coaxed to live down there, and then just every now and then have the goblins run by and throw food to it, so that it wouldn't try to crawl out and climb over people. That might be the least obtrusive place for it if she wants to keep it here, or if she can't be convinced to send it away from the manor. And then the other part of that, is that if it ever does become a problem and it's down there, because it can't eat through stone, well, you can probably get some people to help, and then just like break up everything and trap it in there, and it won't be able to get out. So
now, I had that thought before you ever said it. I'm like, why would we wait?
So that's a thing that you and Conrad would both know, and you could suggest if you wanted to.
So You gonna send the slime to the town? The Kobold Village?
I don't think the dragon would be happy about it.
About this time, as Zhire looks up and goes, "What dragon?"
They could hug. It could hug the dragon.
They're both
Green
green.
dragon,
It's not
green
easy.
slime.
What is it with you and just killing off the things I like?
Well, I understand that these things are eventually going to turn on you.
Yeah.
I know you don't understand that because of, insanities, but that's how things work.
Touched in the head. Facial.
Touched in the head.
It's not my fault that I like powerful animals. I mean, look at this thing. It could kill you without even lifting its non-existing
It
fingers.
would have to catch me first.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna stand around and wait.
Well, I could see what some flaming flask of lantern oil would do to it.
You're not allowed near my slime.
Who's all for letting Amy and the slime sleep together?
If she'll hug it in front of me, I'll be more than happy to say yes, you can keep it.
Why don't you hug it?
See,
I'm
look,
not the one that wants to keep it. I understand.
you're scared of it.
It's a bad idea.
I mean, Conrad's okay with her keeping it as long as she puts it down in that hole to the north there.
Yeah, then we can collapse the hole. I agree.
So you guys get a pet wolf, and I can't have a giant slime.
There's a bit of a difference.
I see the favoritism here.
Like a huge difference.
Favoritism.
Well,
It's not my pet wolf anyway. I believe that belongs to Clark.
Yes, in all fairness, I found a Ripper as a cub. Its mother actually attacked me, and I had to kill it. And it was only after I had killed the mother that I realized it had tiny cubs. So Ripper and the other cubs I took and I raised them from... they were still suckling at the teat when I found them. I had to get milk for them, and I had to wean them. And, have you ever seen the way those cute little puppies are when their eyes first start to open and everything? I had to be with them during that stage. And Ripper has learned to imprint on me as sort of its alpha. You see, the wolves, they like being in a pack. The slimes, as far as I know, they don't think. They just exist.
And consume.
For all we know, this is a baby slime.
Oh,
dear
so
God.
you want a huge slime that would engulf this entire manor?
I think from the size, Empress, I think it's big enough. It has, and slimes typically do not reproduce. They get split, and then the smaller slimes begin to consume, and they grow larger. So some part of this slime may have been a slime for many decades, perhaps.
Hold on, you just said something really smart. Everybody can have what they want.
That's why my head is hurting. Oh, I said something smart.
Why did you say no?
All I can see you doing is telling it to split off a little tiny piece of it so you can have a pocket slime.
You're very smart, and that's exactly what I want.
Stop
How
it.
the hell are you going to carry it around? They'll eat right through your clothes.
A little baggy. Actually, no. I think I'm too big for the slime to consume, so it'd be fine. Little baby slime.
Oh, okay.
So you want to try picking
green.
up a little piece of it?
Okay. Green.
We should let her go with this.
I'm not giving it up, so you probably should.
Green slime cannot be harmed by any attacks except fire or cold. It dissolves cloth or leather instantly, wood and metal in 6 rounds, but cannot dissolve stone. So if you wanted a container for it, it would have to be some kind of stone, like a ceramic container or something, which then would have the chance to possibly get broken. Green slime often clings to walls once in contact with flesh. So as regardless of the size, once in contact with flesh, it sticks and turns the flesh into green slime. It cannot be scraped off, but it can be burnt off or treated with a cure disease spell. So
all I heard is I'll turn into a slime.
So
that's not a bad thing.
You're not opposed to this?
Why would you be?
Oh dear God!
Well, then go hug the thing, and you'll become a green slime.
So bad for Gooney.
But then Amy as a PC would cease to exist.
Okay, that's a bad thing.
I don't know that is.
I don't either. I'm new to the group.
Okay. All right, come on, guys. We gotta play nice.
No, we don't. Do you hear your guys? Do you hear her talking? Do you hear yourselves talking? This is the textbook case of the word insanity. This is a perfect example.
Insanity,
you guys are all
over and over again, expecting different results. All we need is a small stone box.
God.
And Clark is looking at everybody else and looks at Amy and says, "My Empress, you know that I am loyal to you. You know that my first concern, therefore, has got to be your safety. I'm afraid, Empress, that I must agree with all of the rest of your friends and the others that the slime it's too dangerous. It is not like a wolf or a sentient being, even something like I've heard you speaking of a dragon. A dragon as powerful and as greedy as dragons are, they can be talked to, they can be reasoned with. A slime just simply knows only hunger and the need for nourishment, and if it ever were to get in contact with you or any of the others or myself, it would just simply absorb us the way that it absorbs all other nutrients. I cannot think it is a wise idea to leave it alive.
How big is the slime?
It's a 10 by 10 foot creature, and thickness.
Aren't the coffins stone?
The sarcophagi are stone, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And so they could probably hold, say, a 5 by 5 foot creature?
Actually, because this is like a 10 by 10 foot pancake, it could probably be all folded over, and I'll say that it could fit into one of the sarcophagi.
So we could probably have it go into the sarcophagus. We could seal it shut and band it until, so it would be safe there. until at such a time that we can agree on what to do with
it. And also, if anybody tried to break in and rob the sarcophagus.
Boy, that's one hell of a surprise.
Exactly.
Indiana Jones.
So I give you a second option as opposed to the whole, or sending it away, a third option. So,
What was the first option?
first option was send it away, like to the kobold village, so it could eat kobolds. The second option was stick it in the hole at the end of the trench, and the third option is send it, stick it in the sarcophagus.
One of these. Okay. All right. So if you, presuming that Amy then would tell it to follow her, it would then go over and it could...
Yeah, getting it over here.
Or you might want to move.
Yeah, Core.
Gravy, I forgot your name. Whatever your name is, move out of the way, please.
Yeah, Core is going to come over here and get out of the way. And then, oops. We'll follow, and it will ooze and not touch any of the provisions or anything. It will
Someone help me
kind
move.
of squeeze it.
No.
Yeah, Clark and Cora, come on.
Actually, yeah, we'll say that the sarcophagus lids are sort of not completely sealed at this point. And if you tell it to climb into one, go ahead and ping the one that you want it to be in.
Well,
Amy.
we had left them open because we'd opened and searched them. So
yeah, all right. So it will go in here, and it just sort of gets all in there. And then you can come in and shut the lid on it.
I'll shut the lid.
We'll leave it open and crack so we can feed it food.
Yeah, the goblins will get slime feeding duty.
And, I'll let Clark crack it so that it can be fed.
Right.
I'm sealing it to feel safer myself.
What if it's scared of the dark?
It's a slime. It's not scared of the dark.
You know.
You're pushing it. Pushing.
Well, Amy,
Why
don't you get in and see if it's scared of the dark? Take a bath.
Don't tempt me.
Amy, you get from the this thing. It is very comfortable in here, and basically it goes in, and there's actually a little bit of nourishment because there were a few bones and some tattered leather and some of the clothing and things like that left, and so it just devours those and then kind of settles into the sarcophagus, and it seems very content there. And
I just need something to freeze it so we can turn it into a slime sickle.
You're not allowed near my whatsoever at all.
Sermos, there's a point when Amy is distracted by something else. There's a point where Clark sort of looks at you, sort of, tugs on his ear, gives you a little nod, touches his nose. It's like, we're sort of,
Yeah, give him the old thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah. See, all it takes to mend relations between goblinoids and dwarves is a green slime. And
team building exercise.
Yeah.
That's
synergy.
the bugbear was the rational one.
Yeah.
I am very rational. I just want powerful pets. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
All right. So at some point, Clark will come to the rest of you and say, "Okay, for God's sake, we must find something to keep Amy distracted so that she'll forget about the slime, and perhaps we just won't feed it, and Sermos' sealing is effective. It maybe just waste away after a while if it doesn't get enough food."
Yeah.
He says, "When somebody told me I was going to be a king, I thought it was going to be easier than this."
Nothing is easy.
You said it, sister.
She raises an eyebrow and goes, I'm leaving. I'm going back for a drink.
Here.
Anybody want to join me?
Heck yeah. To
All
the
right.
inn.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I'm going to go find a drink.
All right. So, some people want to go have a drink. At a certain point, whether it's you guys can repair to the Stonehill Inn, to the bar, for drinks. Anybody that wants to, anybody that wants to stick around in here can do so. I'll just take us on the map back to the map of the town, and we'll. Oops. Okay, come on. Okay. All right. I'll do this. All right. So you'll go over to the Stonehill Inn and be at the bar. And at some point, Mustard will appear, and he will seek out Theolis as the person that he knows best within the group. And he will say, "Lord Theolis, King Clark sent me to ask you all, at some point we should discuss the timing of and the timing and the strategy for what we want to do about Cragmaw Castle, and also about finding the Rockseeker brothers, and dealing with the this spider."
Yes, you're right, Mustard. We'll have to connoiter with the rest of the group and put the possibilities on the table. And I have to kind of put it up to a vote and make sure everyone's got a unified point of view. Go join everyone at the table. I'll get us around to wet our whistles.
All right. So are we going to say that for the purposes of this discussion, everybody is with the party at this point?
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm done. My slime's in a nice little sarcophagus.
So
Okay.
Mustard's at the table.
Yes.
Mustard came to deliver a message, and then if you all are going to have a discussion, he can take a message back, because obviously you all are in the inn, and it's not like the bugbears and the bugbears and the goblins can just walk into the inn.
I have a question for Mustard.
Sure.
Does he have siblings named Ketchup and Relish?
We don't talk about Relish. You don't need to know what happened to Relish.
The joke was
And-
so bad, someone logged out.
Sauerkraut.
he says, "Well, no, that's just the name that they gave me.
The
That
name
wasn't my
who gave
name.
you? You should sue your parents.
No, it's not the name that my parents gave me. It's the name that the adventurers gave me."
Don't understand, but if you say so.
We changed his name. It was hard to remember.
What's his real name?
You need to have a little dignity, dude.
Oh,
Letting
he
somebody call you
was-
Mustard is not.
What is
Something
his real
big.
name, actually?
What's your real name, Mustard?
I don't remember what the real name that I
Yeah,
gave
he's,
him. I just put it on the thing. I can go ahead and if we want to give him a human name, I can pull up an appropriate.
It should
D&D
start with
name.
M so we can justify calling him Mustard.
Okay.
It could be Con D Mint.
Oh,
That's
just
such a bad
stop.
fun.
You're hurting me, guys. You're hurting me.
A mustard,
All right.
heir of the realm of DuPont.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I will do. I will go back over here. I will find his token, and I will update his token to say that his real name. You asked for a name that begins with M,
I'm
and
thinking Micah because y'all are just giving up.
the random name generator for D&D male names came up with Moises.
Business?
So
Like moisture.
His name is Moist.
Moises.
yeah, Moises.
Oi.
Sounds like someone
Yeah.
saying Moses, but with like a lisp or something.
Yeah. So
Moises.
Moises.
Yeah.
All right. So it's in
He's
the
the
Discord.
moistest.
The moistest mustard.
Okay. Well, we can look again and see what comes up with.
No,
By
no.
comparison, naming him Mustard is better than what his actual name is.
Yeah.
that can explain why you guys called him Mustard. Is that his real name was Moises?
Maybe he
Yeah.
had like a yellowy hue, like,
Jaundice.
he's jaundiced.
All right. So yeah, that would be.
So,
Okay, go ahead. I'm serious too.
what are we discussing?
What you guys want to do about Cragmaw Castle, and if it eventually gets to a point where you need to include the goblinoids, then you probably would want to take that back to either Tresendar Manor or to the Sleeping Giant, where the goblinoids can put in an appearance without freaking out everybody in the town.
What's Cragmaw Castle again?
Okay, Cragmaw Castle is a castle that is connected with a person called the Spider, who looks like an elf but has dark skin. And Cragmaw Castle is ruled by a bunch of goblinoids held by them in the name of the Spider. And the Spider is the former employer of both Clark and the former Glassstaff, whose staff Amy now has. And so Clark has vowed that to assist Empress Amy, he will help in retaking Cragmaw Castle. Also, just before Sermos showed up with a party, they had been talking in that village where the kobolds were. They had been talking to Venomfang, the dragon, and the dragon had essentially put the party on a quest, saying that within a month it wanted the party to either return with 100 gold pieces each in tribute, or return with the location of a castle where it could sort of help to use as its home base. So there's an option that might keep Clark happy, might keep the dragon happy, and might keep Amy happy, and may not keep any of the rest of the party happy. But Cragmaw Castle could be sort of a seat where Amy could sort of have a base, and the party could sort of have a base. The dragon could have a base, and Clark could have a stronghold. So
I have an idea.
Oh God, run fast.
You take the slime and have it infiltrate the castle and start eating its way to clearing it out.
Oh, now you like my...
Well, I mean, if you're going to keep it around, we might as well put it to some use.
Just admit you like the slime.
I don't like the slime. I'm not going to sleep in that keep if that slime's there, or that dragon. So you just, but, or the goblins for that matter. But if you, I don't owe the dragon anything. So, that's on, and matter of fact, near to Zhire, that's on y'all. So, but I'm saying you use the slime because it can go through the cracks, and and it could take out a good portion of or all of the creatures in there.
Mm-hmm. Now, also in the castle, that's one of the places that this spider puts in a regular appearance. It's not where the spider has his normal base, but he does have a residence at the castle. So it would be, since the spider has Gundren Rockseeker, and perhaps has his brothers as well as prisoners, then going to Cragmaw might be a way of figuring out where they are. Since the map,
sure the slime knows not to eat dwarves.
Okay.
No, it does not.
It does not eat dwarves, or it doesn't know not to eat dwarves.
The slime does not discriminate.
It needs to discriminate in this case. You claim it's your friend and you control it. Make sure it doesn't eat dwarves.
It won't eat me. It doesn't eat witches.
Not yet. Anyway, what do you think of the plan?
And Mustard says, "Well, I'm not much of a strategic thinker, but it sounds like it might work to me."
Yes, I would have to say from a strategic standpoint, that would achieve the goal that we look for with minimal risk to the party.
Control slime potion.
And then Mustard says, does anybody remember, were those sarcophagi, were they cemented to the floor, or can they be moved?
Would I remember?
You would. And I'm not going to make you guys make a check because it was clear that in all of the work that people had done to remove the lids, that the sarcophagi had been nudged around a little bit. They're probably very heavy. Each sarcophagus probably weighs somewhere between 500 and 1,000 pounds, but they are not bolted to the floor or otherwise cemented to the floor.
We got like 2 bugbears and 10 goblins and a mustard. They can move that.
And we have a sir.
And for red brands.
Mustard says, well, now the trick would be getting the goblins of Cragmaw Castle to think that there was something of value in the sarcophagus.
Oh, I thought we would, if we could get our hands on just a catapult, we could just toss the thing over the wall.
Oh, well, it might be a little too heavy for that, but you see, if they thought it was something of value and they took it into the castle and they took the lid off.
True.
Yeah, but then never mind.
Maybe if they kind of captured it on the road being transported.
Yes. Oh, now, how could that be accomplished?
Well,
What
in
might
a
be
law
ways?
pulled by donkeys with, I don't know, maybe Empress Amy could be driving it.
Well, I would be afraid if any humans were driving it. They might get captured. But
Things happen.
But do you think maybe if goblins were driving it, they might pretend to be allies?
Or the goblins could get murdered. Because aren't these goblins known to the goblins at Cragmaw Castle?
Oh, I don't correctly know. I was never part of the. I was never part of that adventure when the goblins came into the service of the party. And he looks over at Empress Amy and at Theolis, says, "Do you all remember, or do these goblins have any connection with Cragmaw?"
I'm not sure if there was an actual connection like that, but originally the spider had colluded with Clark before he was charmed, and we explained to Clark it was the spider that wiped out his hideout, and that's why Clark's working with us, is to take revenge against the spider.
Well, so if the spider formerly was the boss of these goblins, then the goblins at Cragmaw Castle might believe it if we sent goblins with a sarcophagus and they told a story that they had stolen treasure from Clark and put it in this sarcophagus and brought it to Cragmaw for... That's a possibility.
True. Yeah. Nope. You guys go right ahead. I'm just listening and thinking. Apparently, I'm now having too much to drink because I can't think because this is just too insane.
I like it.
We could too, since we have those two dwarves to look for. If we think they're in the castle, if the goblins and everybody's dealing with this slime on one end of the castle, we could maybe start looking at the others. And I'm not familiar with the castle, and I don't know who is. But maybe we could start looking for them at the other side of the castle, away from everybody. Use the slime as like a diversion to look for these two dwarves.
Well, I have two ideas. One is insane. One is sensible. What do you guys want to hear first?
I want to hear sensible first because this will be a change of pace.
The sensible idea would be to see if the mayor has the floor plans for the castle.
That is a good idea. Okay, what's the other stuff?
We just go to the castle and have an audience with whoever runs it.
I did have an idea that maybe if we had somebody that could sneak into the castle, maybe like underneath the wagon, somebody who's actually good at these kinds of things. That's good at sneaking around and just popping up out of nowhere.
Anyone but you.
About this point in time, she just grabs her drink and just starts chugging it.
I smack her hand. What are you doing?
What? You weren't talking about me. First we're talking about slime crap, and I ain't going in there if there's a slime.
Well, you're just going in to let us in. But first, we do need to get the plans see if the mayor has the plans.
Well, under the agreement that I get to keep anything I find of value.
No, it gets split evenly.
I'll give you part.
Did you say you would give her part of your share?
You gotta work it so that you make it worth my while.
He's scared of the slime, and that's
equal share. That's worth
and
your
what
while.
are you guys gonna be doing while I'm risking my life sneaking in?
All you're gonna do is once the slime's out and eating goblins or whatever, you're gonna come over and open the gate for us so we can get in.
Meanwhile, avoiding a slime.
Well, hopefully the slime's preoccupied with all the other food in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, you're good at sneaking. Just sneak away from the slime.
Still owe me.
I'll buy you a beer.
Oh, no.
And anyway, you just
You're
stole
gonna buy me
beer.
more than a beer.
2 beers. Half of what I get, an everlasting friend.
You see, you
and
get
she kind
half
of
of
looks
whatever
over at
she
Amy
gets.
and goes, I ain't sure I want to be your friend. You're weird.
That's insulting.
I'll tell you what, if you get killed, I'll make sure you get buried to the last one, next to the last one.
She just gives him this slow look to the side, out of the corner of her eye, like, you're so dead.
I'm dead.
You're so dead. If I can sneak around, you better be making sure you check your boots in the morning, buddy boy. You might not like what you find in them.
You grab my beer again, and your hand might not be able to pick a pocket again.
I didn't grab your beer. You're the one that just slapped mine out of my hand.
No, you said you grabbed his beer.
Did I? I didn't
Yeah.
think. Okay.
So, okay. So, Mustard. Where's Mustard?
Yes. Right here.
Do you know the mayor?
No.
Okay.
Well, I know of the mayor, but if he remembers me at all, he will remember me as one of the red brands. Probably wouldn't like to see me.
Well,
We know the
maybe
mayor.
Amy could write a note to the mayor that you could carry to the mayor.
Oh, I could do that. Sure. Okay, so I'm taking a note to the mayor, asking him if he has plans. If he does, I'll bring them back or let you know. If
Bring
not,
him back.
Okay, bring the mayor back here. Okay, good.
The plan's back here.
Oh, bring the plans back here. Okay,
I don't
good.
care about the mayor.
Then, if not, I'm to tell Clark that we have a preliminary plan and see if he can offer any strategic thoughts that would help. Gosh, I'm not sure if I can remember all of that, but I'll try. So he will patiently wait. Will Amy scribble out a note to the town master?
I need nice paper.
Okay. Yeah, they can bring you paper and a quill if you need it.
Go to the back and
Okay. Scribbles out a note asking if the town master has plans for Cragmaw Castle. So then Mustard leaves. And the rest of you are still at the inn.
Mustard leaves.
Ah.
Sorry.
And while Mustard is going on that errand, that would be a good time for us to take a break. I have 5 till the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and take 10 minutes or so, and we'll come back somewhere around 5 after. I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. Everybody take a little bio break, grab something to drink if you need it, and or a snack. I'm going to go ahead and put the music on and the slate up for chat. And chat, if you guys have any questions, let us know during the break, and we'll answer those before we get back to the game after the break. So let's go to
No, Kitty. You cannot help me. I don't care.
You know the cat's gonna do what it wants to.
I have got to load up a video to show you guys, but it's too big to put on here. My God, my cat is hilarious. We were playing a game the other night. We call it Creep Mousy. So,
Creep Mousy?
Creep Mousy. We used to play it with our dachshunds when I was growing up. It's basically you put your hands underneath the top cover, like if you're making the bed or something, and they jump up on the bed and you're kind of playing with them, and then you kind of scurry your hand around a little bit like a rodent or whatever. So, and make them chase and pounce, and so we call it Creep Mousy.
I see.
But she was on the underside of the blanket, and I was poking at her on the top of the blanket.
Yes, sir. Now those things, if you're a pet owner, you might have seen them, and even if you're not a pet owner, you may have seen them advertised like on YouTube, on the commercials within videos, where it's like a battery operated fish that kind of flops a little bit, and it's a cat toy.
Yes, we have one.
Ah, okay.
Except they pulled the I had it charging while I was gone one day, and apparently they decided that they were going to pull the charge cord out so that they could take off with the fish, except the little piece that attaches to the circuit board to charge it came off with the charger. So it no longer goes floppy, floppy, floppy. Because I can't. I mean, I tried soldering it back on, and I just can't. So, little shits. But boy, they loved it. I'll tell you.
Is it the cat's fault or the owner's fault for not putting it in a place the cats can't get to it?
Thing of it is they had never
get to it. Shit.
Yeah, right. The cats can't get to it.
In a cabinet.
In a locked cabinet with a.
Yeah. The thing of it was, though, is where I had it. I mean, it was up high on a counter, and it was kind of tucked in a corner next to the wall outlet. They hadn't bothered it like the several weeks that we'd had it, but apparently just that day, they wanted to play with it.
Well, I wonder if when they ship those things, if they put something on it, like they sent it with something like catnip or something.
They do.
Okay, yeah, because dogs and cats, they have such a sensitive sense of smell. It's like
my cats are just jerks. I love them to death, but they're jerks.
Well, what do you expect? They're cats. They're
what cat isn't a jerk?
It's like the old what was his name? George Carlin. George Carlin routine about the difference between dogs and cats.
Oh yeah. The dogs are all helpless. Yeah. Even with their eyes closed. Shit, when little cats you attack a little cat, they're like claws out. They're ready to start some shit, and they ain't even got their eyes open.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody is back from break. Okay, when we left for break, Mustard had run off to the Townmaster's Hall, and he's gone for a while. So what are you all going to do while he's gone? Or are you
Drink.
just at a point where you're waiting for him to get back?
Well, I would like to wander over to Barthen's Provisions.
Okay. And Barthen is there. He is a congenial shopkeeper. And he says, hello, Master Dwarf. How may I help you today?
Well, I need tobacco. And do you have dwarven spirits?
For the finest spirits in town, you will find over at the Stonehill Inn. In terms of tobacco, yes, we carry tobacco here. Let me see. And he goes rummaging through his inventory. And he looks for... Okay. Okay. So let's see. He says, right, we can sell this in, I have quantities up to a quarter of a pound, which would be, yes, a quarter of a pound would be enough for, probably 2 weeks or so of filling your pipe. And a quarter of a pound would be 25 gold. Otherwise, I can sell it in. I can sell it in units as small as a fifth of a pound. So I can sell 5 gold worth.
Yeah, I'll take a fifth of a pound.
Or I'm sorry, a 20th of a pound.
20th is fine.
Yeah. Okay, let's
For
do
5
this.
gold.
Yeah, 20th of a pound for 5 gold, and I need to do that. Okay. So the he will sell you 5 gold, and he's got a couple of different varieties. He has a simple dried plantation leaf, and then he has an aromatic pipeweed blend that has some essence of it. It's like when you smell it, it smells a little bit like smells a bit of apples.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. All right. So it's the same price either way. So the 5 gold is enough for like 2 or 3 days worth in your pipe, or maybe half a week in your pipe.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do for now.
All right.
And I'll go back to the inn.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything?
Guess we could check on the crown.
Okay.
Did she just say crown?
Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Not surprising, but yeah.
The crown is actually close to being done.
Soon.
And and it will be ready. Be ready the next day. And pretty much it's all formed, but it just needs to be polished and shined.
Nice. I'm headed back to the tavern.
Okay. All right. By the time you get back to the tavern, Mustard has returned, and Mustard returns with mixed results. He says that the town master did not have plans for the castle, but the town master suggested that he talk to the former adventurer over at Ettermath Orchard. So he went over there and he talked to Ettermath, and Ettermath did not have plans for the castle. And then he went back. He went back by Tresendar Manor, and he told Clark and the others that you all were developing plans, but you were looking, or developing a strategy, but you were looking for plans of Tresendar, or of Cragmaw Castle. And Clark said that he does not have plans. However, he has been to Cragmaw Castle, and he knows a bit of the layout, and he can kind of give you a crude map. He also has some thoughts, and says when you all are ready, if you come back to the manor, he will sort of draw you out his sketch of the castle, and also tell you some of the thoughts that he has about this.
Mustard,
So
good work.
I start trying to look at the plans for the castle. I'm asking questions about specific little areas here and there that seem to have maybe, I wouldn't say deficiencies, but that space looks too big for, what it really is or whatever. Am I making sense whatsoever? And basically, I'm just looking to see what else is in those blueprints.
Okay. Well,
Breaking in.
Are we saying that you guys are going to head back to the manor then, in that case, and talk with Clark?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. Whoops. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm going to bring us to this map here, which is, yes, a nice blank parchment. When you guys get back to Tresendar Manor, and Clark will go ahead and he will begin to give you something of a sketch. He says, well, Tresendar Manor, or I'm sorry, Cragmaw Castle, is a castle that is constructed of a series of towers that have been added on to a small keep. So, if you will, you have sort of the
front portico out here, and you'll have to forgive me. I'm not an artist. But then
That's fine. That's fine. Just keep going.
On either side, you have a large tower over here on this side, and then you have a little bit of a smaller tower that is over here on this side, and then you have another tower that sort of is off of this one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there is another tower here. And there is yet another tower that is over here. And then down on this side, you have a bit of a wall here and a postern entrance over here. And then there's a series of towers. There is a tower that is let me go and grab that last piece there. Yep. Okay, there is a tower that is, whoops, come on, dummy. A tower that is here, and then there is a tower that sort of connects these two towers here. So, there's...
Okay. Where are the gates?
The main entrance is over here on this end, and there are a series of ramps that lead up, sort of a built-up area here and a built-up area here, and then there are stairs that lead up from this level. So as you approach, you must approach from below and then climb up to the level of the doors. With this side entrance over here, it is the same thing. There is a series of stairs that leads up to the doorway here. And of course, all of these towers have arrow slits, but it's important to know the last time that I was there are a number of the tower walls that have been collapsed over time and breached. Mainly, there's a breach in the wall here. Then there is a breach in the wall over here. Whoops. A breach in the wall over here. And then finally, there's a section on this north side that is all collapsed, from approximately here through to approximately here, is all collapsed.
And
now that was when I was there last. So
is this all on a hill?
Yes, Cragmaw Castle commands a small hill, looks down over what once was a road. It's all overgrown now. There's a small creek that is maybe half a mile away, and there's a well where water is drawn for the castle. But if one were wanting to enter by normal means, you would come in either this way or this way. But you could, if repairs have not been made, you could climb over the collapsed rubble of the walls here, or up here, and get in. Now, of course, once we take it, we will need to be sure that we reinforce and repair the damage that has been done to these walls.
Well, Zhire, you may be off the hook.
Okay. How you figure?
Well, you won't have to ride the wagon in. If we can go through a breach.
And how are we going to get the slime in?
The slime's going to go in with the wagon, which is going to be driven by old Brokefoot over there.
Brokefoot?
Yeah, whichever one has a broken foot, the goblin.
Oh, and the fella looks up and he says, "Oh yeah, that'd be me."
Yeah, you.
Raising his hand, you see that this is in fact Droop. Droop is the one with the broken foot, or the injured foot.
Him and the clumsy one can be driving the wagon.
All right.
And they say, "Are you sure you want to let Dill drive the wagon?" And Dill says, "Yeah, I can drive the wagon just fine. It'll be great."
God.
The confidence scares me.
It's your peons.
Your
You have no
Clark.
faith in your own people?
Yeah, Dill's of a higher rank than the other goblins. We've had him do most of the stuff, so yeah, we can put Dill in charge of the wagon. We'll be fine with that. Good job, Dill. I rely on you.
Dill and Droop in the wagon.
Yeah, it'll be great, Droop. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, dear God.
Famous last words. Oh, no.
Do we want to do any reconnaissance to see if those breaches are still there or if they were in fact repaired before we make...
My insane plan is sounding so good right now, which is just going in. Just send me in.
You just want to go in and do it all yourself?
I want to go in and check it out.
No, I was thinking we go do the reconnaissance like he said. I agree with that. That makes sense. And then we send the wagon to get captured, to take the slime inside the walls, get opened up, slime starts eating, and then we go over the walls to look for whoever. As long as the breaches are still there.
Bring it up at this point, though. We got to go through a lot to get the slime in position and to get it into the castle. We could always let the dragon know that there's real estate available.
Well,
he wants already prepared real estate, though.
We could get the dragon to show up, too.
Why do I
Why do we gotta let the slime have all the fun?
So as you guys are talking, and I'm just gonna move all of the humanoids into this one chamber over here. The goblins will be kind of in and out doing work, as they are wont to do. Cora will be over here listening to the discussion. And then suddenly Droop comes limping in and says, hey, boss, everybody, Clark, there's somebody here to see you. And Clark says, well, who is it? Hey, he says his name is Sturrick. He's another hobgoblin. He says he's gotten he's gotten sick and tired of all the nonsense that is going on with King Grohl. And Clark bares his teeth and says,
Grohl, he doesn't deserve the title of Duke, let alone King.
And Derp says, yeah, I know, boss.
Bring him in.
So he will run back out, and then he comes back in, and he is, when he does, he is leading another bugbear. And they come over here. I guess Mustard will be, Mustard will be over here with these guys. And Sturek looks around and sees all of you guys, and then looks a question at Clark, and Clark looks over to Amy and nods to Amy and says,
"It's okay, Sturek. These are our allies. They are honorable people. They do not simply judge folk by their heritage. They judge folk by their actions."
And Stark says,
"Oh, okay. That's new."
And Clark says,
"What is this about King Grohl?"
And he says,
Well, as you know, Clark, Grohl is still sits on the throne in Cragmaw Castle, but he's mad. I tell you, he's just simply mad, and he's gone crazy.
And Clark says,
Well, we were just discussing what we could do about Cragmaw Castle. Tell me, Stark, are the breaches in the walls still there?
And Stark says,
Yes, that's part of the problem. He's so busy trying to boss people around that he would rather just have people guard the breaches instead of actually trying to do anything about fix them. And I tell you, the guy is mad. And he deals with that creepy, dark-skinned elf dude. And the one that calls himself Spider. Yes. Oh, we have plans for that one, too.
Stark says,
Well, do you guys need any help? I've got a...
All the help we can get.
And he looks, he says,
Well, if you'll have me, I'll do whatever Clark tells me to do, or Clark, whoever you want me to follow, I'll follow.
And Clark says,
Well, we follow Amy. Amy is advised by her friends, and so we do what they say. They've helped us get this place here that we are able to start cleaning up, and they're going to help us reclaim Cragmaw Castle, and then we will deal with this spider. And the Empress here, she will be a fair ruler to all folk.
Stark looks at Clark and looks at Amy, looks at Clark, looks at Amy, looks at Clark, and shrugs his shoulder and says, Okay, whatever.
I have a question for Sturk.
Yeah, yes. Oh,
Do they
Master
know
Dwarf.
you left to leave permanently, or do they just think you're off hunting or something?
That's a good question. Yes, I told them I was going to go hunting, and
So you could go back, and they wouldn't suspect anything. They would just let you right in.
well, yes, and I see you have some of the goblins that were at Cragmaw hideout still. As far as they all know, Cragmaw hideout is still a satellite of Cragmaw Castle. I think, frankly, any of us, bugbears or goblins, could come and go, and they wouldn't think much of it.
So
Are there
Yeah.
more? Are there others at the castle that feel as Sturek does that would maybe help us?
Oh, well, everybody follows Grohl because he's the toughest one, and he's the toughest one because he tells everybody he's the toughest one, and
There's this
he
look
just
on
he just
Zhire's
yells.
face. What?
He yells louder than anyone else, and so everyone just does what he says.
Wow, that's some interesting dynamics there.
oh, why doesn't anybody just challenge him?
And
Goblin hierarchy.
he looks at the dwarf and he says,
Oh, well, dwarves, I know that dwarves and we goblin folk have had our differences in the past, but I have studied a little bit about your culture. You and your people, you generally choose leaders based on their demonstrated skills. Hobgoblins tend to choose their leaders based on who can kill the previous leader. And once you prove that you can kill the previous leader, everybody else is afraid of you. And the problem is that people stay afraid until you prove that you are the stronger person. So if you challenge Grohl and it looks like Grohl is perhaps going to win the fight, then everybody is going to jump in and help Grohl, and you will be defeated. And if you are defeated by challenging the king, you don't get a chance to challenge him again. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, they're
Wow.
going to kill you, but what if it looks like you're going to win?
Well, if it looks like you're going to win, then everybody will be afraid of what you will do if you don't defeat him. So then they will help you. But goblins, we tend to want to know what the outcome will be before we jump in. That's what makes challenging a hobgoblin leader, very, very difficult. Plus, Grohl has Snarl, his big shaggy wolf.
and Ripper comes over and just starts sniffing around Stork and says,
Oh, I see. He's getting bigger, but he's not yet full grown, is he?
and Clark says,
Oh, he probably has a bit more to grow, but
and he says, and then he turns back to the rest of you and says,
Snarl is full grown. He's a big wolf, and I have seen him bite a goblin's neck clean in two when King Grohl decided the goblin had made him angry. Demonstrating your power like that tends to make people just jump first and ask questions later.
Interesting.
Sounds like you all need to learn the art of assassination.
Or we get growled.
We can poison them both.
How can I poison the wolf?
And Clark says, "Oh, that would be cruel. That would be
Cruel to what?
cruel to poison an animal. Well, I'd be all for doing anything to get rid of Grohl, but if Snarl can follow one bugbear, he can follow another bugbear, or a human, or even a dwarf. He would be. We should at least give him a chance.
Or he might make a fine meal.
Oh, and he reaches down and he covers Ripper's ears and says, "He didn't mean that, boy. He didn't mean it. And and then he kind of glares at the dwarf a little bit, like, please don't say that in front of Ripper. He's got very sensitive ears."
More like sensitive feelings.
You have to remember, using something like poison to take care of the leadership doesn't win you any favor with the other goblins. Poison's seen as weakness as opposed to head-to-head battle, which is what gains respect.
But if you use the poison to make him sick, that makes him weak, then it's easier to defeat him in combat.
That is a possible method of using poison in a strategic method. But how do we get the poison into the bugbear?
And
How do we get Cusco to take the poison?
In tainted meat.
And
Could poison the well.
Well, then you'd have a problem. Everybody else would be in danger from the well.
Well, they'd all
depending
be
on how long
sick. If it's just something that weakens them and makes them sick, that's all that you really need.
Well, the resource of a poison to use on bolts or arrows or blades, perhaps? Kind of a Macbeth type thing?
Well, that's I suppose that could be a possibility.
We could even put something on a dwarven hammer.
I don't want to rule goblins. Let a goblin rule goblins.
Let a witch rule goblin.
You know, if that's what does it for you, go for it. I'm just...
Wow. Just wow. My mind is like completely blown.
And yeah, actually, I think that that's true. Zahir would not have ever heard the plan that they would be building a goblin army, and using goblin forces to sort of take over.
Take over what?
Everything. Take over everything, basically.
Oh, well, see, I had never heard that plan either.
Yeah. This party has decided, why stop?
It wasn't just me. It wasn't okay.
Yeah. Why stop with Cragmaw Castle?
why not just figure out how maybe you can build an empire out of this, failing patch of land here, this province.
Socially,
So-
ethnically diverse.
So
Yes.
this province doesn't fall under some other kingdom?
History of the World.
Part
History
1.
of the World Part 1 is that this is a far-flung province of what is known colloquially as the Sylvan Empire. Sylvan because the elves are the oldest in terms of having been around the longest of the humanoid sentient races. They first appeared in an area where there was an isthmus that was between two bodies or two seas and two continents. And so they built their capital on that isthmus, and they have spread out from there north, south, east, and west over the geography of the known world. They expanded for several thousands of years, and along the way, they eventually found the younger humanoid races. They encountered dwarves first, then they encountered halflings, and most recently they encountered humans. That was probably some 2,500 to 3,000 years ago that they encountered humans. But humans, being the shortest lived and having the shortest generations, as they came into the fold of the empire, the humans population quickly grew to be larger than the population of the elves, the halflings, or the dwarves. And all four of the races get along relatively well. And for another, let's say, 1,500 years or so after encountering the humans, the borders of the empire continued to expand. And so you could stand in the capital city and you could basically draw a circle with a radius of over 1,000 miles, and all of that territory would be part of the empire. But eventually, the empire reached a point where it matured. And as it matured, it began to encounter the problems of all mature empires. The capital cities began to accumulate, the capital cities in the heart of the empire and the center of the provinces began to accumulate a lot of wealth relative to the other parts of the empire. And that wealth began to get concentrated into fewer and fewer hands. And so you began to get a disparity between the nobility and their great accumulations of wealth and the populace. Also, because of the dense population in the cities, there started to be more disease. And also because of the influence of the wealth, there started to be more political corruption. Meanwhile, as the empire borders expanded, they eventually ran into monstrous humanoids on the borders that they could not very easily defeat. And all kinds of other terrible things, not just monstrous humanoids, but other sorts of monsters. And eventually it got to the point where the empire was as big as it could comfortably grow without, sending organized military campaigns out to various fronts to expand the empire. With the corruption at the heart of the empire, that meant they were drawing their military forces back closer and closer to the heart of the empire, which means that for the last 500 to 1,000 years, the borders of the empire have slowly been shrinking because, external forces are pushing against the frontiers, and people that are part of the empire are retreating back closer and closer to the center. So right now you're in a province that was once considered fairly heartland of the empire, but is now a border province. Beyond this province is pretty much untamed wilderness, lots of ruins, lots of old towns, not many people knowing exactly what is there now. There's history books that tell you what used to be there, but who knows what you'll find if you go out to those areas today. You might find independent kingdoms that are still thriving that were once part of the empire, but they probably haven't seen an imperial tax collector in 200 years. So basically the empire is falling apart. And this party has decided, well, if we're in the Wild West and nobody's taking control of things, well, maybe we can do something about it. So, in name, this is a province of an existing empire. In reality,
you mean they chose this as opposed to doing the easier thing and going around posing as the imperial tax collector and collecting the tax?
True.
That was my idea, but everyone said no.
I would have been for it.
Because you end up tarred and feathered as a tax collector. Nobody likes to see the tax man. You go to sleep, you don't wake up.
you just don't make the tax hurt so much. They probably even forget how much they owe.
2 gold per day.
As long as you make them bend over with lube, they're okay.
Right?
Gooney the children.
Yeah, you gotta be like, but it's for the children.
No, not what I meant.
Do it for the children.
But it's for the children.
Don't you want better roads?
It's for the children.
So, yes. So that is that's basically the status quo. So you're far enough away from the influence of the military that if somebody declared themselves a king or an empress or something out here, it would be a long time before the word ever got back to the actual seat of the empire, and then they would have to decide whether they wanted to do anything about it. Which, well, some people probably would, but do those people actually have any power to do anything?
Playing devil's advocate here, I don't know how well they would receive amassing a goblin army on their borders, but that's me.
Right. But to answer your question, it came in handy. Like this current situation, you have goblins and goblinoids that are the main antagonists. So
and
by befriending a few of them, those goblinoids, it allows us the opportunity to have a defector or some other individual that we can kind of make it possible to infiltrate, as opposed to having those, trench warfare situations of us versus them.
True. Well, I think first order of business, we need to get the sarcophagus on the wagon.
Not it.
Not it.
Of course it's not it. That's what the heavy lifters, like these 3 bugbears and those goblins and those 4 guys that are in cells.
My daddy always would say that, whoever came up with the plan
As the word.
had to take care of making sure it went off, aka they had to help. I mean, she looks over at Amy and goes, "So that means you. You want this? You want to keep this stupid thing? Well, then you're gonna have to help lug
All
the
of you
stupid
turned
thing."
down my plan, which is just go in and start hitting stuff.
I didn't turn down nothing. Good.
We were fully on board with letting you go in alone and just deal with it.
That was not my plan.
That's what I heard. I heard you wanted to go in by yourself, so I was more than happy
Scope
to
out
let
the
you
castle.
La-di-da. La-di-da.
Anyway, I will tell Clark and the others what needs to be done with the sarcophagus.
Okay, and when you start giving that plan, Sturrock says, "Oh, yes, that gives me an idea. Do you know, Clark, that Groll, he still goes on about that? What was it? He still goes on about that that spear. What was the name of that spear? The one that he always talked about." And Groll says, "Oh, yes. Oh goodness, I'm trying to think of it.
I see smoke come out of his ears. Run.
Yes, the Skiver of Terror." And he says, "Yes, that's it, the Skiver of Terror."
The skivvies of terror?
The Skiver of Terror.
The skid mark of terror.
Dun, dun, dun.
She's like, that is the weirdest damn thing. It sounds like skivvies of terror.
Well, this is a spear that is supposed to have been a legendary spear carried by an ancient hobgoblin hero, and it was stolen by a human warrior. Now, this sarcophagus, it wouldn't happen to be a sarcophagus for a human, would it?
Oh yeah.
What if we tell Groll that this sarcophagus contains the remains of the human that stole the Skiver of Terror, and that we are giving him the honor of opening it?
You could do that.
Clark says, "That's not a bad idea. Oh, Master Dwarf, adventurers, Empress Amy, what do you all think?"
We just need the sarcophagus opened.
Sounds really nice. I don't know if you believe it. That's what's coming from my head.
Well, yes, that's why we get the goblins to deliver it, and you, if you are so willing, Sturrock, you could go back with the goblins, and we could trail close behind. And when Groll opens the sarcophagus and we hear the screaming, then that will be our signal to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree.
And Clark looks at Sermos and says, or he looks at Sermos and he kind of whispers over to him and says, then maybe in the confusion, something can just burn the slime. Gives a wink.
I need a perception check or something so I can hear these things.
I just
No. Yes.
Make a. So what are where's our skills here? Let's see which one. I guess you would want to make a detect. What is it? Detect deception, which is a. I think that's a wisdom check. So Amy would want to make a detect or a wisdom check to detect deception to see if she notices anything that. Nope, she doesn't notice.
One of these days.
That'll be the day when I die.
So Sermos, you think
There's a lip reading skill I'm gonna get now.
Well, I just affirm in
Deny.
Goblin. I speak to him in Goblin, so he knows I speak his tongue.
Oh, okay. And he gives a big grin, and then he looks back at Droop and at Sturrock and says, "Right, I think we have a plan then. All we need is a wagon and a horse, and then we'll get the goblins to drive.
I thought we had a wagon and a donkey.
Oh, did you guys bring a wagon back from? Okay, so we do. You guys do have a wagon.
First.
Didn't we send Mustard off with a wagon?
No, he went off on foot.
Oh, we made him walk.
Yeah, you made him walk.
Poor Mustard. He's so mistreated.
But the odd thing is, Sermos, he still looks at Amy with devotion, and absolute loyalty in his eyes.
Oh, yeah. Magic does strange things to people.
Yes, it does. But you guys can all get like a sense of how the goblinoid hierarchy goes around here. Clark being the biggest and fiercest of the bugbears and having the wolf, that basically makes all the other goblinoids just sort of fall in line behind him. And if he follows somebody, it's like, okay, we'll follow them too.
What we can do with Breadhead and the other three while we're gone?
They're continuing to work on repairing and shoring up some different aspects of Transcendor Manor.
Do we really trust them to be alone?
Yeah, they only hurt each other, but I don't see them collapsing the entire structure on one.
That ain't what I meant. I meant running off, rejoining the red bands.
Dude, they got meals provided, they got good shelter, and no humans mess with them. They're tickled to death.
Oh, in terms of the red brands, those don't exist any longer. Glassstaff was the person that put the red brands together, and he has been executed.
Yeah, so, but I mean, these 4 guys may decide to go, oh, Well, no, the Watchers are no longer around. I'm gonna beat feet.
At worst, the likelihood is, at worst, that they would run off. There's not a whole lot here for them to actually steal. They don't really have any, so they might steal some food and run off, but that would be probably the worst option. The folk from the town kind of know that the party is sort of working here, and they know that people are working for them, and some of the people that are working for them are former Red Brands, who have been seen around the town before, but they were always going to try to shake down merchants for money. When they
I
were
was
part of Red
thinking we
Brands.
could loan them out to the townsfolk. Well,
No, have them sort of work off part of their debt to the town.
sure. That way, somebody's keeping an eye on them, and they're not just going to run off. Don't want your labor to just disappear.
Well, what would the rest of the party think about that?
We could talk to the smith and see if they could make a chain gang type of situation so that all four of them would be stuck together.
If one of them just happens to be injured, that's fine.
I mean, they could, paint the buildings, do road repair, haul
Farm
wood
work,
or coal
harvesting.
for the harvest, whatever.
Work the mines.
There are a few retired adventurers and a few hardy folk that are about the town. They could probably keep an eye on them. Would we say that somebody would go and approach the town master with some sort of variation of this plan?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Okay. The town master, he is, he's a bit of a sensitive
Steadfast
sort.
individual.
He's a bit of a sensitive individual, and he doesn't like the idea of seeing them going about shackled. He thinks that would sort of send the wrong message. He would.
Well, I could hobble them if that'll make you feel better.
Oh! No, I don't think there's a need for that. I think that now that they don't have the class staff trying to you order them around, and Grista, nobody has seen Grista in a few days. She's not around trying to give them a place to lodge. I think if they're working for you, the townsfolk all know your reputations, the reputations of your friends. If they are working for you, and they start doing things that seem uncharacteristic, there are enough folk that will give them the what for. And if they try to cause trouble, they'll run them off.
No, don't run them off. Just give them a good beating.
Good beating. Well, I'm sure that
I'm not saying kill them. Just bruise them up a little bit. Some welts. Yeah.
Well, there may be some folk who would do that. I would.
I'm not saying you gotta do it. Just yeah.
Oh, heavens! Good. All right. Well, in that case, yes, I could mention that too.
The
Some folk.
sheriff, the cleric, the smithy. Somebody big and strong. Just let them smack them around a bit. It'll be fine.
Oh yes,
They'll probably
yes.
ask for more
Who?
and thank them.
It's D&D, not S&M.
Has Theolis used his inspiration at this point? Or does he have
I'm
inspiration?
sorry, I didn't mean to butt into the...
No.
Still has his inspiration.
Okay. All right. Does Theolis, you can give inspiration to somebody if they need it.
Okay, great. Make a note of that.
Does anybody need inspiration to add to their character sheet?
Question.
I've got mine.
I think
got mine.
Amira was the last one to use inspiration, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have? If you need it, Amy, go ahead and give yourself inspiration. So that. All right. Do we want to say that that's the plan then? That the former Red Brands will work for the townsfolk while you guys are gone, and they'll put the sarcophagus on the wagon. Couple of goblins will ride on the wagon with the bugbear Sturrock, and they will go to Cragmaw Castle, and you guys will sort of shadow follow along a little bit behind,
Mm-hmm.
and then along with the other goblins and the other bugbears and Ripper, and when the green slime starts causing a commotion in the castle, you guys can rush in and
Mm-hmm. Save the day. Dun, da, da. Oh,
okay.
wait. That's not quite what we're doing.
Okay. What other planning do you guys need to do at this point, or do you feel like you have?
I think we're ready to go.
I need a plan to keep my slime safe, apparently.
You don't know that.
You don't know
It's gonna
that.
be safe.
I don't know that, but you guys scare me.
What
Don't
threat
metagame.
could the slime face?
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. There's. All right.
Slime. If the more you use it, the more likelihood it gets destroyed. You know that.
All right, so let me go to this map over here, and I'm going to go to the settings here. Okay. Okay. So, let me move some things over to this. Oh, fudge. All right. This. And then, aha, that's what I need. That's what I need. There we go. That's what didn't look right. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say. Okay, so we have this area here. That will be very good. Okay, now. Okay. All right. Based on the map that Clark drew, well, I guess it wouldn't. You guys wouldn't need to worry about that because Sturrock would know the side entrance is the one that's most easily accessible by something like a cart. Kind of be like almost like where a loading dock would be, if you think about it that way, where deliveries in the back or deliveries on the side. So they would have that. Let me grab the PCs. And I'm going to get the other tokens here. So we'll see who all is. Okay, are you guys wanting to take Mustard with you or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have Droop and Dill are on the wagon. So I'm going to put them away from the PCs for right now. And then we have the rest of the party and the other goblins, the bugbears, and Ripper. So you guys will copy these. Then we'll go to this other map. And we will paste them out by the okay. Paste them out by the front doors over here. Okay. There's not a whole lot of extra room on this map, so I'm just going to put you all in like a big clump over here. And you guys can figure out how you want to deploy yourselves. Let me move the ribbon.
Yeah.
All right. So, zoom out. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is the. I'll point out a few things to you. This over here is the side entrance where they are going with the wagon. This is the main entrance here. You can see this is the area where one of the walls is collapsed on the side where you could climb through. That's difficult terrain if you want to go in that way. It is. There's a front door here. You guys don't see, and you're not this close. You're kind of far enough away you can be sort of hiding in a tree line or something like that. The doors look like they have collapsed to the front entrance, and they're laying on the ground. And you don't see anybody watching there. Then over on this side, there's another collapse where there's a breach in the wall. Again, difficult terrain to climb through. And then sort of back on the back on this side, there's yet other places where the walls are breached, and you could probably climb through difficult terrain. So there's a number of ways to get in, a number of ways for people inside to get out, and those types of things. So let's see. I'm going to give you guys a choice. We have about 10 minutes left in our session. Do we want to see how this all starts, or do we want to pick up from this point to start our next session?
Let's start fresh. Next section. Session.
Going awake and guns ablaze.
Okay. All right. So when we come back next time for our next session of the
Dungeon
Lost Mine, the Lost Mine of original D&D, we will be at Cragmaw Castle. We will see what happens when they deliver the sarcophagus inside to King Grohl. See what how everything unfolds and what the party is able to do at that point. All right. Well, thank you, players, for coming and joining tonight. Fun session as usual, and looking forward to having. Well, I'm not really sure what's going to happen next week, to be honest.
Well, we can just plan on saying it's all hell will break loose.
Yes, that's probably assured. Let's see how many of the castle inhabitants try to run away, how many try to fight, and how many decide, oh, these guys are more powerful now, so let's just join up with them. Who knows what's going to happen. Very well. Between now and then, there's a couple of more things going on this particular Twitch channel. But before I talk about that, players, are there any other games that you're involved in that are streamed, or do you have anything, any kind of presence, Twitch or YouTube, or you're doing things that you'd like people to know about between now and next Saturday evening?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Then tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow will be Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Happy day. Sorry.
Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll have our Planeswalking campaign, The Walker of Waterdeep. That will happen at 2 o'clock. We are in the plane of Kamigawa right now. There's a very rich lore and lots of conflict going on that the characters have talked about, and they've been spending some time discussing what they want to do and strategies and stuff like that. So we'll pick up with them tomorrow. Then on Monday, yet another episode of Monster Monday, And on Monday the 15th, we will be talking about the Ashen Rider. Ashen Rider, which is another monster. I believe that one is out of Theros, or if it's not Theros, it's out of Wildemount. And then on Thursday night, we have our Sword Coast Chronicles game, which is our love letter to the 5th edition published campaigns. Right now, they are delving into the storyline from Out of the Abyss and trying to figure out what all is happening in the Duragar city of Gracklestug. Because things seem to be amiss there. And I don't want to give away too much because there are still a couple of things that are up in the air, but we may be having some exciting announcements related to the channel within the next few days. So stay tuned for that. Last but not least, viewers, thank you guys all for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. And if you have been here and you've enjoyed it, we are glad that we have given you some entertainment on a Saturday evening. This is a this is kind of a fun adventure to go through in any case, and it's even more interesting to go through when we put the spin of the old rules on it. So hopefully everybody gets some enjoyment out of that. And without any further ado, we'll go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you all so much for being here, players. Thank you for playing. I'm DM Gallibond. We'll see you again next week for another episode of The Lost Mine of Original D&D.
Yay!
Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.